this part when so-and-so does this, and I'm not going to say one thing to you people.
And someone came up to me and was like, I'm so excited for you to play Nifty. I'm like, was it even announced?
And they always, because I'm also the target Beetlejuice demographic, so the security was always like, nope.
So the barista hands me a coffee and I say, thank you very much. She goes, you're welcome, Dick Master.
Welcome to the stage, everyone.
All right, keep it down.
So I got a whole big roadmap here. I've been lucky enough to talk with Viv a couple times. I have not spoken to the two of you, so I'm very excited about some of this. Vivienne, I did want to start with you first, though, because your journey in this industry is really something special, and you are creating content that feels so unique to your mind, and it feels like it's something we need. And I also love a female voice in animation that's taking hold quite like you have. So I have two questions for you about kind of finding that voice and your foothold in this industry. First, from a craft perspective, do you remember the very first time you either drew or animated something and stopped and said to yourself, like, I'm really good at this?
Not the second thing, but yes, so I have a very specific moment in my life. Because I was kind of piecing together what animation was at a very early age, because I would stop a movie and I would note, I was like, that's a different drawing from that. That's a different picture. So I was already kind of figuring it out, but it was in third grade. I had an art teacher named Mr. Springer, who I have tried to find, and he doesn't exist anymore, I guess. I don't know where he is.
It's such a weird way to say that he died.
I don't know.
Doesn't exist anymore.
We've asked the school, we're like, where did this man go? And they don't know. But anyway, Mr. Springer, if he existed, he was a ghost. But no, he was a very amazing teacher that I remember very fondly. He was my third grade art teacher. And I don't know what the program was called. It was a very rudimentary, MS Paint kind of thing, but it played in sequence. And so he was like, here's this thing called animation. We're gonna do this thing. And I did the crappiest swan flapping its wings. And I was like, I just created life. So that was so it wasn't good, but that was the moment. So it was in third grade that I was like, this is what I'm doing.
Kimiko and Alex, I have some early career questions for both of you as well. Kimiko, I'll come your way first because you did your first, correct me if I'm wrong on this, you did your first voice acting role on BoJack in 2016?
Yeah.
First definitely one? Applaud for that.
Stefani.
Did you know you would be good at this voice acting thing, or did BoJack come with some sort of aha moment where you realized the skill set you had in this realm?
I don't know. It's hard for me to judge based on, I don't know if I'm any good. I don't know why people cast me, honestly. Sometimes it's imposter syndrome. I don't know. I just get feedback. People, when I would talk to them just in conversation, they'd be like, you have a really interesting voice. And, I can't hear myself, right? But I had been auditioning for voiceover for years and so many times, 3 fucking auditions a day or something crazy. And I would never get anything. And I was like, gosh, I feel like there's something to this. People keep saying I have an interesting voice. And then BoJack, I think, saw me on Orange is the New Black. And that's when things started happening. And I was like, oh, thank God. But yeah, no, I really enjoy it.
So Alex, my earlier question for you is about Hell of a Boss, because obviously there's a lot of fans of that series. Yeah. I am curious, how did you first meet Viv for Hell of a Boss?
That's actually great. We didn't. we
right.
didn't. It was in the pandemic. I'm sitting in a bed in Oklahoma City, wondering if the things I do for a living are ever going to come back, and get an email from, I believe it was my agent, it wasn't directly, that said that these people saw you in Beetlejuice and they liked what you did. And oh yeah, right. Sorry, I'm not going to say it anymore. It's not great. Okay. And then they said, basically, essentially, the boiled down email was, can you do that kind of exact voice on our show? And I was like, I'm already doing it at home for nobody, so sure. And my dog is freaked out about me, so I might as well do it into a microphone. So yeah, that was, when we first met, Lord, might have been on a stage somewhere.
Yeah, I think it was one of the first shows back.
It might have been one of the first shows back at the Marquee at Beetlejuice.
It was me, Richard, and Brandon, I think, was there too.
Yeah, and I hadn't met physically anybody for a very long time, and now that we've met everybody, it's been amazing. But no, it's really strange because you go have backstage guests, and it's my boss, and I've never met any of them.
and they always because I'm also the target Beetlejuice demographic, so the security was always like, nope. And I'm like, I'm here. Like, what? He's right there.
I know him. Yeah.
Every time I would go.
It didn't help that you were in full cosplay, but
yeah, no, exactly.
But I think we've met everybody. I think I've met everybody now. Lord, I'm not sure, but Kimiko and I just met today.
What?
We've chatted. We've been around. We're part of the musical theater community. We text.
And it just seems like this cast in real life clicked the second you all met.
Oh, if you see I'm just going to speak out of school here. There's Blake Roman's out of his fucking mind. But he's also the perfect person when you're at a con in a city you've never been to, and he's like, we're like, what should we just go to dinner? He's like, let's go party or whatever, however. But it's great because you need someone like that, and so we have a group of people that not only loves each other but loves to be around each other, and I think it's nice. And also, quite frankly, because we've recorded another season of Hazbin. Okay. We are the only people that we can talk to about it. So that's actually also another thing that puts us together is we are able to go into these little quirky corners of these cons and go, oh my God, what about this part when so-and-so does this? And I'm not going to say one thing to you people. But yeah, that's the other cool thing is that we all get to actually have this thing in common.
Yeah, I think also we have mutual admiration for each other. I know I do. Like when I saw Erica was involved and Alex, I was like, of course I'm doing it, And I know Christina from a long time ago. We did one of our first professional jobs together. And I don't know, I think there's that too. We're all kind of Broadway theater nerds and people. So it helps to have mutual interests and stuff.
I'm curious from each of your perspectives, and Viv, I know this goes way back for you because of the pilot. Do you remember the very first moment you met a fan who kind of really made it hit home how special the work you do is? And I mean, truly how it can change someone's life?
Yeah, actually, I think this was last year, but I think I got my first person that came up to me and basically said, we're engaged because we met through the show. And since then, yes, which is amazing. Since then, though, this year, I've gotten a number of people who either proposed at the convention and then and then show me the video and they did it in cosplay, and I'm like, that's new, but it's also that's so special to me because I'm like, these characters are so special that you made this enormous milestone in your life sort of involve them, and I'm like, what the fuck? That's insane. So to everyone who does that, it means something to me every time. I think someone even their engagement ring was a Fizzerali inspired one. It was the balloon animal, and it was on the ring, and I was like, that's on you now, So it's so cool. It's insane.
I very recently in another state because of conventions. You were talking about this, in another because you kind of live when I live in New York. I figured that people understand who I am because I do Broadway stuff or theater stuff, or just because I've been here for 20 years. And so when you go to another place, you get that very stranger feeling of oh, okay, cool, I'm a stranger in a strange town. I went to a coffee shop in Iowa, which is not known for much. I asked. And they said it was Korn and The Music Man, the musical, but they said the only big song in The Music Man that takes place in Iowa is about a place called Gary, Indiana, which I think is really funny. Sorry. So the barista hands me a coffee and I say, thank you very much. She goes, you're welcome, Dick Master. When I did not, when they asked for my name, I didn't say that. So, but that was one of those moments where it was really just, whoa, holy shit. And they didn't say a thing before that. It was just a cool little moment of whoa, in Iowa, in a place I'll way never come back to. No, I'm kidding. That was actually really fun. I had 3 of the best meals I ever had in Iowa, honestly. Yeah. Sushi was one of them, oddly enough.
Before the show came out, I did I think my first convention, and I saw people in cosplay already. It was this sort of I want to say ominous, but not ominous because it was like very exciting. I was like, people know about this show already? And someone came up to me and like was like, I'm so excited for you to play Nifty. I'm like, was it even announced? Like, these people know so much more about the show than I do. And like, I don't know, it was just so exciting. And I was like, I think this might be something cool. And then it came out and I was like, oh, okay, it's really fucking cool.
Can you tell me something you did doing your voice work for season 2 that was, I don't know, kind of upping your game, putting a new tool in your voice acting toolkit that you didn't have before?
I'm whispering one thing to Viv. Just
Fair enough.
All right, I've been told I can say this. I mean this genuinely. In season 2 of Hazbin Hotel, I, at least for my sake, have done, in my opinion, the most dramatic thing I have done in my career in season 2. Like as far as like heart and sadness and things like that. It took a lot out of me. And it's a weird thing to say because that's not how I feel about a lot of things, but because I've spent a lot of time with these characters, and I'm not mentioning who any of this is about.
I know which character it is. You play more than one.
I play more than one, and maybe I play another one in season 2. I don't. But yeah, I genuinely remember kind of taking it with me when I left and being like, man, because I was so excited about what it was, and so getting it right was very important. But it is sincerely, I think, as far as leveling up goes, as being a comedian first, this was like the most dramatic thing I have done, I think, in a thing. Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait.
I think for me, it's so interesting because Nifty really came into view when I saw the show, like when I saw season 1, because with animation, like voicing is a big part of it, but like so much of it is the physicality and all the like character they add that you don't know about. And so she really came into view for me once I actually saw season 1. So season 2 felt like I felt like I sat into her like a little more confidently. And I think also, you know, the ending of season 1, I think you realize that Nifty, like anything's possible. You know, like endless possibilities with her. So yeah, I think that's what I leaned into, like the most exciting. Like you just don't know what to expect with her.